Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I don't know how many people need to hear this, but this is just a really good tip when it comes to being a US voter who's living overseas to be able to send back their ballots in the most stress-free and free way as possible. So I just wanted to give you my insights on how I cut down the drama and was able to make sure that my voice was heard. So as you know, there are election primaries going on all around the states, so this might be different based on where your home state is, but usually when you're living abroad, you still have an address that you last lived in, and most likely that is where your domicile remains in terms of which local elections you vote in, and essentially where you also are rooted in the federal elections. And now they have allowed us to not have to wait, at least in Los Angeles County, not have to wait for the actual physical ballot to come to us in the mail. Because before the problem is that we'd have to wait for the physical ballot to come in the mail, but it would take forever, and sometimes there would not be enough time to mail it back. The other alternative was to try to find a fax machine, but who has a fax machine these days, and try to fax it before the election deadline. Now they have allowed us to go online and click a link. So I'll try to show the screenshots. And so you click a link and then you verify your last domicile with your last name and the address and your date of birth. And then you actually do the voting online. And then you print out your ballot. So I still haven't even gotten it in the mail. So I was able to print it out, and they even make you print out your ballot oath. And so you have to fill this out and you sign it. Then of course they have the thing where the next page is blank, and then on the printout on the following pages, I'm not going to show you because I'm not going to show you who I voted for, but now they have a cool QR code, and it shows you a printout of the offices that you voted for and also the ballot measures. And then this is what you're supposed to put into an envelope and mail. And I was just or fax. So you have both of those options. Now, if you choose to fax or mail, you give up the right for complete secrecy, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. So there's a fax number right here, but I was just I don't know if I can find a fax machine, and I don't know if I could, trust these apps, but I found an app. But I just want to tell you, I was just I wanted to go to the post office. So in Korea, went to the post office, and I have mailed it back before from the post office, and it costs about $23. And at that time, the post office, there was some pros behind the counter, and they were just okay, $23, boom, it's expensive, I know, but we're gonna send it by what they called EMS premium or something. This time when I went, the lady was oh, it's not possible. So you always have to check, whether the person is really experienced. She didn't know what the next level of the EMS was. And essentially what I learned was that it's really not a service of the post office. What they do is they subcontract it out to UPS, and then they act as the middleman. So that's why she thought that it's not a service they provide, because essentially it's not a service they provide. Why? Because it's going to a P.O. box, and usually they do not send that type of mail to a P.O. box. And it wouldn't go by regular mail either. I don't know why. Then they referred me to DHL, and I was okay, I like DHL, and I went to DHL. DHL was we definitely never send it to a P.O. box. So I wasted all my time, so let me save you some time and $23 and not have to do the snail mail route. And actually, you can do it through an app. I know, I know. I thought it was crazy. So I only found one. I only basically was able to have it successfully go on the first app I tried. I kind of like, was a little bit selective. So I tried an app called Fax App. I'll try to put a screenshot as well. And it's by a company called, let's see, BP Mobile LLC. And the first fax is free, so make sure you do it correctly. But I was able to fax 5 pages for free, and after that, like, you have to pay like either a weekly or a monthly service fee. Other apps, they were saying like they'll charge you like 50 cents or 60 cents a page. So it's just like, oh, it's going to be like $6 or $7. So I thought at the time maybe it would be cheaper if I sent it by regular mail. So that's why I went to the post office, but that's not the case at all. So try out this app because it was super easy, because this is all you need to fill in. I'll do the screenshot instead. And you just put in the fax number, you put in your sender information, and then when you add the document, you just take a photo of it, and then the photo capability is really good, and it looks like a real fax. And then you press send fax, and it says sent, and it says pending. So I was like, is this really going through? I don't know. So I just like forgot about it, and the next day I checked, and it said it was no longer pending, and it said sent and sent. And then I got an email from the county registrar saying that they got my faxed ballot. Totally worked, you guys. So just because you're abroad, it doesn't mean that you have to jump through all these crazy hoops to make sure your voice is heard. Make sure you vote wherever you are in the world, because it is so important to participate in democracy and make sure your vote counts. And nowadays, it's easier than ever. We have fax machines on our phones. So are you guys overseas? Do you also vote? And will this help? Do you also have your other favorite fax apps that, that aren't this one, that are maybe better? Leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Tune in next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Love you.